Hey, welcome to TMP, the Mavs pod. My name is Bo. You can find me on Twitter X at Mavs Highlights. You probably have seen me posting highlights. It's kind of what I do. But also, we have this time together to sometimes celebrate, as we did the previous 4 games. But tonight, it is to commiserate. It is to be miserable together. So the 30,000-foot view of this game is Mavs really did stick together. They fought hard in their own way. The Oklahoma City Thunder did not have an exceptionally good game. I should say the score, the Thunder win the game 126-119. The game didn't really feel that close, but the Thunder could never really find a way to put the Mavs away. And that's surprising because they had a man advantage. Matter of fact, it was 5-on-8, it felt like, tonight. So let me just kind of run down some of the high-level stuff, which is 3 different Mavs throughout the game go down. We've got Josh Green, who leaves the game with, they believe, an ankle sprain, I think. That's all we hope it was. He did not return. At one point, Gafford went down, and they had to call a timeout. And then Dante Exum went down after being kind of, what I would say is kind of thrown to the floor. It sounded like he hit his head on the floor. No call. And so just a night where the free throws weren't, exorbitantly out of range. Matter of fact, the Mavs ended up with 3 more free throws, 26-23. Both teams shot their free throws well. But it just seemed like a ton of the calls that went OKC's way were very suspicious, very questionable, like just good old school 1980s NBA home cooking kind of calls. Like, hey, you're at home, you're going to get the favor of almost every 50-50 kind of call. Everything that could go your way is going to go your way. The Mavs, thankfully, I guess, broke out of their 3-point slump. They shot just over 41% from the field on threes. They jacked up a bunch of them. They went 12 for 29. And the Thunder shot 10 more than the Mavericks, which is kind of part of the difference of the game. And a ton of those were open. They only shot 41%, same percentage as the Mavs, but they got 10 more up, and they were 16 for 39. So both teams shot 41% from 3, but one shot 10 more of those threes. So Mavs once again had a bad turnover night. For a team that averages near the league best of like 12 to 13 turnovers a night, they had 19 a night. Just really sloppy. Of course, no Luka tonight. He's nursing that sore hammy. We don't think that's anything serious. We think he'll either be back in one of the next 2 games. Mavs out-rebounded the Thunder, which isn't surprising. The assist numbers were pretty total, 25 to 28. Thunder had way more blocks than the Mavs did, which is surprising considering D-Live and Gafford being out there and just being block monsters for the past few games. They outblocked us 7-2. We had a couple more defensive rebounds, 10-8. I don't want to talk about that anymore. We had 10 more points in the paint. Of course we did, because they were shooting all those threes. So that's just some of the high-level box score type stuff. Let me just say, man, the Mavs without Luka don't seem to know how to throw an entry pass to Derek Lively, which makes me I'm frustrated for this guy who I think can contribute so much to the offensive end. Just adding an incredibly diverse second look, a second option off of the original option of a play, right? And they just can't seem to get him the ball. Sometimes it's because he's not aggressively making himself available. He doesn't have that kind of, alpha, pin his man, seal his man, put his hand in the air and be like, give me the ball. He doesn't have that mindset yet. I hope that comes next year. Luka seems to innately understand his value to the offense, but it doesn't seem like the rest of the Mavs either really understand it or are skilled enough to throw consistent entry passes. That's what it really seemed like. There were a few turnovers tonight when the ball was trying to go in to D-Live, and it just was terrible. It got picked off, or just was a sloppy pass. There was one pass from Kyrie where he just lollipopped the pass over, and Derek eventually did score on the play, but the pass was so lazy and so imprecise. It was just not great. So let's talk about kind of just some of the players and how they rock and roll tonight. Kyrie Irving is the name we're going to talk about He was 12 of 18 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, hit all 8 of his free throws, got 12 assists, 36 points, shooting 67% from the field. A really, really nice night from Kyrie. We knew he was going to have to take on a larger offensive load with Luka being out for sure, no doubt. And he did. He stepped up into that. The offense looked very clunky throughout the night, but the ball was in his hands so often, and he made enough really nice passes. He ended up with 12 assists, only 4 turnovers. So you'll take a 3-to-1 turnover to assist ratio, and so that's okay from Kyrie. So he does well. He's such a phenomenal shooter, and you could tell he was wanting to step up to the challenge. Daniel Gafford, man, within the first few minutes of the game, he'd already missed a shot. He missed his first shot of the game, which is on an attempted putback, which, of course, those are the easiest kind of shots to miss because people are bumping. And, oh, man, I really wish they'd have been a little more specific and safe about calling him some plays where he got some safe dunks or layups or something like that. So he ends the streak with 33 consecutive field goals made, putting him in second place behind Wilt the Stilt for the all-time record at 35, which, that's still okay. Guess who showed up tonight? Not surprisingly to me, but it seemed to be to a lot of Mavs Twitter pretty surprising. Timothy Dwayne Hardaway Jr. showed up tonight. He put up 23 points, grabbed 9 rebounds, and dished 3 assists. 8 for 13 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3, hit both of his free throws, only a couple turnovers. That's like a miracle in and of itself. And in a game that we lost, he was a plus 13. So we actually won the THJ minutes tonight. So he was inevitable he was going to have a good shooting night. And you might be sitting there telling yourself, oh, hopefully, he's breaking out of his slump. He's gonna come back. He's gonna be like gangbusters again. No. This is what THJ does. This is what he does. He'll play like absolute manure for a month and a half, and then he'll give you 3 games out of 5 where he plays really strong. That is not what you need if what you're wanting to do is win playoff series. You can't bank on a guy that could be bad for a month and a half. That's Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock can be bad for a month and a half, right? Like those kind of like low expectation guys, they can be bad and then you don't really need them and rely on them. But the Mavs have historically relied on THJ. And I'm just done. I'm really happy he shot well tonight. I would love to be proven wrong on him, but I will not be. I know who he is. Deep down in your heart, you know who he is. And the whole thing, like, he's our 3rd best scorer, blah, blah, blah. Man, get out of my face with that stuff. He is not a productive NBA player. Now, tonight, without Luka, awesome, man. Jack him up, THJ. Get him up there, buddy. And he did. He came through. He hit some nice buckets. He really did. I'm not sour on his game tonight. I just feel like I know who he is as an NBA player and what you can expect from him and what you cannot expect from him. This in no way reflects on tonight's performance. He was really solid tonight. But I will not let a short little burst of positive play cause me to forget who he's been teaching me that he is for the past 5 seasons. He's been teaching me. I've been paying attention. I hope you have too. I've been paying attention. He has taught me, deliberately taught me who he is as a basketball player. And what it is if he is hot, you want him on the floor. But he is incredibly hot or cold, and he's way more cold than he is hot. He is not someone you can rely on most nights. Hey, you know who was absolutely trash tonight? PJ Washington. PJ Washington was absolute trash. He was horrific tonight. 1 for 11 from the field. 0 for 7 from 3. 4 of 8 from free throw. Just absolute trash. If he hits 2 or 3 of those corner threes, or even the above the break threes, if he just hits anything, this game might swing a different way. It might have swung a different way if PJ Washington could just hit these shots. Oh, by the way, almost all of these shots he's taking are great looks. He's not a ball hog. He's not jacking up contested shots too often. But man, he is bricking these shots. It's at this point, I've been saying this for a few days now, Jason Kidd and the coaching staff have to stop being so stubborn. He is not going to come around and start acing the corner three. That is not his shot. He does not see that shot. I mean, he is too good a player to keep putting him in his worst spot on the floor and demanding him perform from that spot. He's too productive a defender. He's too positive an overall player. Now, tonight was not an example of that. But you cannot keep having him rotate into the corner and take those corner threes. He just can't be a part of that action. You got to figure something else out, coaches. I don't even think it's his fault now. I would have liked him to make a bunch of those shots he had because we'd have won the game. If he hits just half of his open looks tonight, we win the game. But the system keeps putting him in the corner and asking him to shoot these open threes, and he is catastrophically missing them. It's not like, oh, that was a close one. Oh, that was almost in. It's bang, bang, clang, clang, clang. Oh, man, I was upset at watching PJ tonight. Not at him, but just watching him upset, kind of the basketball brain in my head saying, we cannot keep asking him to shoot this shot and expect good things to happen. It's not like, well, he just needs to break through and no. That's not his shot, guys. That's not his shot. We wouldn't ask Daniel Gafford to shoot a bunch of threes. That's not his shot. I understand the offensive expectations for those two players are very different, but like he can't hit corner threes. And we're creating a lot of good open corner threes. Let's get other people in those actions where they're going to end up with the open corner threes, right? My gosh, man, it is rough right now. It is rough. Like you could see his confidence is shaken. Derek Lively tonight only played 14 minutes, did almost nothing. 4 points, 2 rebounds, no assists, no steals, no blocks. Just nothing was good happening for him. And I don't know that it was really entirely his fault. Once again, I would like to see more rebounds out of the young man. I'd like to see more kind of dog in that kind of element of his game. But, man, he's going to rely on people getting him the ball. And no one tonight seemed to have a clue how to get him a ball. I don't know if you watched the game, but there was a little party that broke out. A little Hardy party broke out there for a few minutes here and there. And so Jaden Hardy got 17 minutes tonight, put up 9 points, only 4 for 10 from the field. But, you know, I know this is as hard as I am on Hardaway. I'm much more like lax on Hardy because he's just so young and he has such a better handle and he can get where he wants on the floor so much more smoothly. He dished out 5 assists tonight, did have 3 turnovers, but didn't shoot well, just 4 for 10. But man, I don't know that he's the answer. I don't know that he's a winning player, but I sure would like to see what happens in the offense if we started letting him shoot those open corner threes or had him getting more of those THJ minutes. Like I really just think he's not so significantly a worse shooter than Hardaway that we couldn't be giving him minutes because he's a much better ball handler and I think a much better facilitator. And my gosh, you can't be a worse defender than Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't think Hardy's good. I think he's probably pretty bad. But he can't be worse than Hardaway, who's just, man, he's just saying Olay and just lets you run right past him to the cup. And there was a lot of that tonight. By the way, I'll just mention, I won't even read his stats. We got a bad Dante Exum game tonight. Now, at one point, it looked like he'd had a concussion there in the second half, but he wasn't playing well tonight at all. 2 assists to 4 turnovers, 2 for 8 from the field. That just kind of is a snapshot of how he played tonight. He just looked out of sorts. He did not look comfortable. He didn't look aggressive. He didn't look confident. It was strange. I don't know what was happening. Maybe it was nothing. It was just one of those nights because it was kind of one of those nights for several guys. But man, Dante was disappointing. And on a night, I can't remember who tweeted this, but someone I follow said on a night where we really needed Exum to step up to get this showing from him was a real discouragement. If that was you, I wish I could have referenced you. Sorry about that. That because that summed up my thoughts exactly. Man, on a night we could have really used good Exum. Good Exum maybe turns the tide, turns this L into a W. Maybe we got one of his worst showings to memory. Well, the other team throws a pretty big superstar out there. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. By the way, it's not Shy. I've heard a bunch of people, Mavs Twitter, calling him Shy. It's not Shy. It's not like, oh, he's shy, he's embarrassed. No, it's Shai. I've heard him say his own name on that Skims commercial, the underwear commercial that the NBA is cramming down our throats. He says, "My name is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander." That's his name, Shai, not Shy. Shai. He put up 31 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 9 for 16 from the field, which is really, really nice. Only 1 for 4 from 3. He's not going to really do much damage there. But he got 15 free throws all to his lonesome. 15 free throws. Now, he is extremely good. And I said this at the end of the game. Man, SGA is a great player. He's a phenomenal basketball player. He does not need to be coddled by the refs like he is. Because he's such a sneaky, slippery kind of player. He does deserve. He's going to get to the line a lot. But, man, 15 free throws? Come on, man. 15 for one guy? No, thank you. That's the standout stat of the night is SGA going to the line 15 times, man. That's the stat that just jumped out to me. That and PJ's 1 for 11. Those are the two stats that jumped out to me tonight. Man, goodness gracious, 15 free throws for him was just pathetic. And you're going to be seeing all over Mavs Twitter this complaining about the refs. And I don't usually like to jump in on that. But, man, tonight they had a point. Tonight the refs seem to be all one way. And I don't ever want to say that the game was decided by the refs. It wasn't, but man, they did not have a good game, those Zebras. Tonight, it's one thing if the calls are bad both ways. You just kind of go, man, these refs stink. But, man, they stunk always in favor of the Thunder, it felt like. It really, really did. I mean, my gosh, they were just calling everything towards Shai's advantage in particular. But also it seemed to be like the Thunder could manhandle us, I think because they have the reputation of being a good defensive team. And, man, our guys were getting just popped and slapped and knocked around with no whistle. And you just breathe on Shai. And tweet, 2 free throws coming up. All right, so I asked some of you guys, what do you want to say after tonight? And so I may have to language correct some of y'all's responses. But Bryant wanted to say congrats to whoever gets OKC in the first round. Oh, salty, Bryant. I like it. Yeah, if Luka plays tonight, we win this game going away, I feel like. And I don't feel like that's a crazy, copium kind of thing. Like, they do not look like a really, really dangerous squad. Because I think they were fully healthy tonight, and the Mavs almost beat them without the best player in the world, top 2 or 3 best players in the world, and the Mavs almost beat them. And even without Luka tonight, the Mavs could have won this game. I just want to keep emphasizing that. If they would have just hit their shots, I'm not even saying it's some insane percentage either. If they would just hit their shots in a decent way, man, they could have won this game. So yeah, I don't see OKC as a monster danger. And I think they are a good team. They're well coached. They have a very clear system they are running, which sometimes I can't say for ourselves. But man, they do not look like a monster, say like the Nuggets or the Celtics or something like that. Jay Rice says, whatever. We win if the refs are even slightly better, or if PJ gets out of his own head. Or if we have our MVP. Yeah, absolutely. I'm completely with you, Jay Rice. Absolutely. If just one of those things goes differently, we probably win this game. You're exactly right. Dark Nowitzki says, going with Maxey at the end instead of Gafford was a mistake. But if healthy, we wash them easily. I don't know about easily, but I love the sentiment, right? I love the idea that, yeah, we could take this team in a series, especially if we have Luka, for sure. But yeah, you're right. The point about going with Maxey, instead of Gafford, or I would even prefer D-Live. Here's the thing with Maxey. We've seen him do this a couple different times throughout his career. The dude right now just looks afraid to have the ball in his hands. Like he don't even talk about not wanting to shoot. He doesn't even want the ball. Like he is like a 0 on the offensive side of the floor right now. It is just terrible. It is just terrible. He's not a good enough defensive player to be doing this on the offensive end. Now, I like Maxey. I like the way he moves his feet. I like the way he gets his hands up. He's hard to bait into stupid fouls. I think he did have a couple tonight. But, yeah, he's giving us nothing offensively, which is so sad because I think just 2 weeks ago I put out a video on Maxey saying, hey, it looks like he's turned the corner. And, man, he has not. He looks terrified. I hate to say this about someone I love so much because I've been a Maxey supporter from day one. I really have been. And I got the receipts, but he doesn't look like he belongs out there right now. He looks like a guy who's looking to find his game. The problem is we are in the middle of a playoff chase, and I don't know that we can afford to be giving him significant minutes to find himself or to find his confidence when he's not going to shoot, right? D says DeAndre Jordan's offense is better than PJ's. DeAndre Jordan, wow, there's a callback, nice. Texas Sports Pursuit, OKC is a horrible watch. They're going to get sent home so fast. Boy, I would love it if it was by the Mavericks. Yeah, that would be a fun turnaround story, right? Is it Joaquin or Joaquin? Says, no disrespect because they have been great during the whole season, but kind of feels like nobody is scared of this OKC team. Yeah, he says, with everyone healthy, the Mavs should be a pretty good match. I completely agree, man. Completely agree. And then Lukenstein says Maxey looks cooked. Yeah, he really does. He really does, man. Callan says, this is not a loss anyone should feel too bad about. No Luka, Green out early, still played them tight on the road. Completely agree, man. Completely agree. Caesar says Kyrie looked better than Shea. To me, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Shea was certainly getting the benefit of those whistles. That's for dang sure. And Kyrie just historically does not get them. He's such a slippery player that he doesn't play to contact. Shea, y'all got me doing it. Shea intentionally plays to contact at every opportunity. He is always playing to contact. He's always looking to get you up in the air, right? Let me see here. CJK says, give me Luka, and I'm not worried. Hey, I'm with you, man. Trust Nico. Their team does not scare me. Get healthy, and we wipe them. Oh, I like some of this confidence. And we could have had a lot of negativity in this little thread right here, and I'm liking this confidence. Good stuff, guys. I hate windows. Don't look out the window then, my friend. Shooting is needed like air. Yeah, the shooting tonight failed us for sure. Messiah Sand says Maxi Kleber is a bona fide scrub. Yeah, man, he was tonight, that's for sure. Lori says OKC gets cooked if Luka's playing. I agree, Lori. I agree. If we somehow can face them in the playoffs like you're saying, I think I'd feel very happy with that matchup for sure. David says atrocious officiating, number one. Agree. Point two, no way OKC beats the Mavs in a 7-game series. Hey, I love the confidence, David. I'm liking it, man. I like the way they look tonight, and they didn't even look great, right? Mr. Anderson says the refs' bank accounts received a healthy sum earlier. I don't know about that, man. I don't think it's a big conspiracy. But I do think the refs don't like the Mavs. I think that's legitimate. I don't think they're taking the payroll. I don't know if they're taking the bank. Of course, I can't disprove that. But I do think that historically we have enough evidence to say that the Mavericks are not the favored child. That's for darn sure. Stevie says nobody is scared of this OKC team. Ivar says PJ is disgusting today and Maxey was useless. Absolutely. Jira says bad night for Exum and PJ. They were unserviceable. Horrendous reffing. Yeah, absolutely, man. Completely agree. Jesse G says, I want OKC in the playoffs, round one. Heck yeah. I like the confidence. Paulie says PJ was the reason we lost. I can't say that you're wrong, Paulie. 1 for 11, man. And those are good looks. Good looks. 1 for 11. And yeah, if he makes just half of his open looks, which is a fair expectation for a player of his skill level, to make just half of your wide open looks, yeah, we win the game. And then Jesse G come back and says, why does Kleba play? He's got a history with Kid. He's got a history of being a really quality, reliable player. And I don't think he is right now. He's not right now, that's for sure. He's not a solid player right now. And then Aaron had some colorful language in here. Blank the NBA and their bad refereeing. This is a blowout if Luka's playing. OKC will lose in the first round because they're garbage foul bait merchants, and that won't fly in the playoffs. Man, I hope you're right, Aaron. I hope you're right, man. Yeah, so listen, guys, let's just say it this way. The Mavs have won 4 of their last 5 games. And it might about to be 4 of their last 6 games because we're playing Denver. We don't know if Luka's going to be back. But that's okay. 4 of the last 5. Take a deep breath. Understand that the refs were not in our favor tonight. There were a lot of calls that didn't go our way. Mavs have been playing pretty well. Hopefully, as a team, they're coming out of their 3-point funk that they were in, because tonight they shot really well from 3. Yeah, let's just go get some wins here. Let's get Luka healthy. Let's get Josh healthy. Let's make sure Gafford's okay. Let's make sure Exum's okay. Doesn't have a brain injury or something like that, a concussion protocol, right? And then let's get the Mavs back in their winning ways as soon as possible, right? Everyone stay healthy. Let's lock it in for the playoff run, right? You guys have a good one. Go Mavs.